Almost 2 years have passed since a convention was adopted by countries meeting in Hong Kong to raise environmental and safety standards in ship recycling. Some people are sceptical about how much progress has been made since then towards the convention's entry into force.
Conventions take a long time to go through government systems. It can take 3, 4, 5 years, so it is very early to be worried about progress. Conventions have to be translated, go through ministries, go through parliament, get prime ministerial signatures, so it does take time. But I for certain know that a number of countries are already moving towards accession to Hong Kong, ratification of Hong Kong.
Do you feel, though, that the convention can remove alleged abuses that we're already hearing about, such as in the issuing of documentation showing what hazardous materials are on board vessels?
The convention is aimed to bring an international standard about. At the moment we do not have an international standard. Some countries are making certain demands of ships to be certificated in one way or another way. Some of these demands are unrealistic and as a result end up producing false documents. With the convention we will have a single international instrument that will create uniformity and a single system throughout the world.
Is it feasible, though, that vessels can be pre-cleaned of hazardous waste, as the environmentalist bodies are urging, before these vessels are sent to the Indian subcontinent?
No, not in the way that they define pre-cleaning. The way they define pre-cleaning means that the ship has to be stripped of cables, of insulation, of things that would make the ship unable to sail on its own power, and therefore ships would have to be towed around the world to go to the scrapyards. So this is impractical and it's an unrealistic prospect. So the discussion on pre-cleaning does not help us come nearer to an understanding of how things will be.
The convention, as we've just mentioned, maintains the beaching of ships. Is it realistic to believe that safety standards on beaches can be upgraded and that the recyclers are willing to invest the money to do so?
Well, there are two questions here. The first question is whether beaching should be allowed, and the second question is how can beaching be made safer and environmentally acceptable. A lot of people would not even accept that beaching is a viable method. To this you have to consider that 2/3 of the world's capacity uses the beaching method. So if you disallow that, you would in effect split the world into two: the countries that support beaching or rely on beaching and the rest of the world. And then you will not achieve a single international standard. Instead, the convention takes another route. It says what has to be done in order to achieve safety and environmentally improved methods. And that can be done with beaching, and that can be done with alongside methods.